Yes. Oh, hi.
Hi there.
Okay, so 9 times out of 10, you're the guy introducing me, about to do some talking.
You're right.
I'm going to introduce you now because we're going to keep this thing off right. This is the 2014 Beer Social at the Beer Bloggers Conference in San Diego, California.
Exactly.
How we doing, sir?
I think the whole thing's going really well.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing just fine myself. I better talk into the microphone. I'm doing great, and I think the conference is doing well, and I just talked to a lot of people. We were at Stone Brewing Company, and everybody was having a great time.
Nice. So what did the itinerary look like today for people that weren't here?
We had serious content in the morning. As you know, you were involved with 2 of those sessions. And then we had a lunch break where we went out to off-site for lunch, and that was fantastic. We had a good time there, and came back with more content. We had our keynote speaker, a social media session, and it was all fantastic. Founder of Sierra Nevada Brewing Company came and spoke.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the region, the location of the conference plays such a big role in terms of how the conference plays out. San Diego, how did San Diego work out this year as a host location?
Well, I'm getting a lot of good feedback from this year. I know that last year in Boston was also exceptional. I think it depends a lot on how much the involved breweries decide to put into the conference. And this year they're doing a lot. And so it's been really great. It has a big impact, and I think that just San Diego and its weather just is a sort of an added bonus to the whole thing.
It was kind of a perfect day, huh?
It's been a perfect 3 days since I've been here, yeah.
Yes, that's so good. And then this event tonight, can you provide a little bit of context about what this is all about?
This is Beer Social. The idea is that beer bloggers are always using social media to promote their blogs and also just their views on beer, but oftentimes they get stuck into the same forms of social media. Maybe a blogger's really what he or she uses all the time. And the goal of tonight is to help people try and expand and do other forms, hence the video and posting to YouTube via Google+.
And with blogging being such a decentralized medium, I feel like these conferences have become something of a touchstone for the culture. And you're in such a unique position to, be a catalyst for these things to come to life. Can you share some of your perceptions in terms of this year in particular and beer blogging culture and just the things that you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, the key thing about the Beer Bloggers Conference is it is the event of the year where people come face to face. Right? Because the rest of the year, everybody's talking to each other via the internet. Mm-hmm. And this is the opportunity to meet everybody. So it's just a critical event, really, to move beyond an online community to a real community. And so, and as you know, we also do a Wine Bloggers Conference and a Food Bloggers Conference, and each of them are very important for that community. So we're in the 5th time of the Beer Bloggers Conference. It's the 5th year.
This is the 5th year?
Yeah, and it's maturing, and I think we have a lot of veterans and a lot of new people, and so each year kind of becomes more entrenched, and each year's a little bit different, but it's also the same. It's a focus on content, beer, and community.
And a lot of new faces this year?
Always a lot of new faces. Depends, right? Because people can't always fly across the country and take vacation time to go to a conference, and so when we're on the West Coast, it makes sense we get more West Coasters here.
And beyond the event tonight, is there anything else that folks out in the world should be aware of in connection to the conference, to tune into via social media or anything else?
If you go to the beerbloggerconference.org website, you can sign up there to get the RSS feed so that you're always up to date on what's going on. We've got a complete list of beer blogs. There are something in the world, and they're all listed on our website. I think the key for your average consumer is find a couple blogs you like, follow them, and you'll learn a lot about the beer world. Because the beer world is not what it used to be 20 years ago. It's totally different, and it's much more exciting.
Yes. Anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
Come join us next year, Asheville, North Carolina, July 2015.
No, we got to.
Nice.
Yes. how we do it, right? Sir, always a pleasure. Congratulations. Rip roaring. Let's do this. All right, folks. This is going to be a rip roaring orgy of dialogue, of beer, of unpredictable events, of conversation, of great karma, of delicious, thirsty beer awesomeness. Who knows what's going to happen? There's no plan. We're talking to folks. Oh, hi, Paul. Paul Atreides.
Howdy.
Did you get the Dune reference?
A little bit.
A little bit?
I've been reading them recently, actually listening to the audiobooks on while I'm driving in the crazy San Diego traffic.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's awesome. I finished the first 4 books on audiobooks, and the voice actors are awesome.
Really? Now, are the books better than the movie? Because I've only seen the David.
I haven't watched the movie,
Really? It's
but
amazing.
I heard I don't know, I've heard different things, so I didn't want to watch
I'm
it.
the only person that thinks it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people think it's pretty failed, but I
People do.
haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I think I have questionable taste.
But it's nice because they really sound on the books like they're speaking with Middle Eastern accents, so like they're pronouncing everything like I would expect that they should.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I have no idea what we're talking about right now, but that's
So-
amazing. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Where are you based?
So I'm local. I'm a San Diego local, and I started my blog about November of last year,
Mm-hmm.
just to cover all the local breweries and all the crazy beers because there's so many. There's no way anybody can keep track.
Yeah.
And so I like to keep track of especially the IPAs. So my blog is called San Diego Hop Addict because I really
Type your blog in there.
focus on the local beers that are pretty hoppy.
Yeah.
And so it's just
I gotcha.
www.sdhopaddict.com, which is nice and simple. And so I make sure that I cover the hoppy beers, but I also cover a lot of the other styles because I'm still looking for that really good San Diego brown ale that I really want to drink a bunch of,
Yeah.
which I haven't seen yet. And although I did really like the Carl Strauss, they did a Belgian brown last year,
Yeah.
sort of seasonal, towards the end of the year. That was really good.
Yeah.
And so I like that a lot, but I haven't seen a lot of big, mass-produced brown ales
Mm-hmm.
in San Diego that I really would want to buy a case of.
Gotcha.
So I want to try all the styles, but so far what's really impressed me the most out of San Diego beers has been a lot of the IPAs
Mm-hmm.
and the double IPAs and all the crazy stuff. And, of course, even now some of the session IPAs because we're seeing that a lot more.
Mm-hmm. What are you drinking right now?
Right now I grabbed the latest Stone Stochasticity Project, which is a Belgian quad,
Yeah.
and I made sure to get a small pour because this stuff is a little under 10%,
Nice.
and it's really strong stuff, and it really reminds me, my first taste, reminds me of the beer from Society called the Widow, which is their Belgian Dark Strong, also really good. Both have a lot of the same sort of like plum malt flavors, a little bit of the Belgian sort of sweetness and all that stuff that you get from the Belgian yeast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really nice change from a lot of the stone beers. I can't remember seeing, besides the sort of Cali Belgique, you don't really see a lot of Belgian stone beers. So it's nice.
So let's say you got some friends coming into town. They're beer guys. What are some of the tips that you give them in terms of experiencing the local beer scene beyond the obvious? What's some stuff you tell people to seek out?
Well, assuming that I'm not too busy, I'll sometimes take them around myself.
That's very nice of you.
But and I've done that a few times, which is awesome. And then I usually get a growler fill or two when I'm done because I know I'm gotta be making sure I'm not gonna have too much to drink because they're now in my hands. So, but usually I try to hit a lot of the some of the smaller breweries because it's not always. I don't know that I ever want to tell people to fight the crowds at Stone because there's so many good beers at Stone bottles that I don't really need to get out there. I don't personally go to Stone very often myself because I like to buy their bottles when they're in the stores because most of their really good beers are in bottles and they're usually pretty solid. And so I tend to send people, more recently especially, I send people over to Council, which is one of the smaller. They've only been open about 3 months. But when they first opened, I was there maybe a week or two after they opened, and they were running out of their IPA. Their first IPA that they were brewing because it was a Nelson hopped IPA, which means that it makes it a really strong sort of grapefruity flavor, and it's a sort of IPA that they make over at Alpine that they call their Nelson IPA, and everybody loves that, and that just sells out whenever it's available. And so Council decided to try to do the same thing, and it came out really good the first batch, and so it was selling so fast that they were gonna run out of it before the second batch was ready if they didn't stop doing growler fills. And so I had to rush over there so I could cover the brewery while they still had the IPA. Otherwise, I couldn't give a fair assessment of the brewery.
Yeah.
So they have a good variety of stuff. I also try to send people over to some of the other smaller breweries. There's a really small brewery called Pacific that has a pretty solid IPA. They've been open maybe 3 or 4 months now, maybe 6 months at the most. I try to send people over to Intergalactic because they usually have some interesting beers and they have a fun sci-fi theme. And right now they just put on a new batch of their coconut porter, which is really nice. I also send people over to Society, and then of course Helms, which is right around the corner, because Society has some really good Belgian beers. As I mentioned, they also have some really good IPAs. And then Helms, which is sort of hiding a little bit on this little side road, they have a really good rye IPA and some other beers that sort of rotate. And Helms is great, of course, because they just started putting out their 22-ounce bottles of their beers a couple of months ago. And so you can now buy them in the bottles. And so that's a couple of the breweries that I send people to. But if they're going further south, I always send people to Modern Times because I'm a huge fan of their beers, and especially the ones that they started canning right off the bat, which are really great. The Hoppy Wheat is one of my favorite sort of session beers because the wheat malts really give it a nice background that sort of has a body, unlike it sort of tastes like it's hop water almost, which is great. But it's really, they're almost watery on all the other sessions. And then they also have this really nice Hoppy Amber, which is sort of has the caramel malts in the background really good, and then has all those grapefruity, citrusy hops, little dank hops going in there that really give it a good balanced flavor overall.
So you're basically on it. You know what's going down.
I mean, I've tried.
You're the guy behind the guy behind the guy.
I've tried probably 75-80% of the San Diego breweries that I've visited in person. I haven't been to every single one. I really want to get down to Border X because they apparently have a hibiscus beer, which is sort of based off the Mexican drink Jamaica, which is a nice hibiscus drink. And hopefully the beer is not as ridiculously sugarly sweet as actual Jamaica as you always get it.
Yeah.
It's like sugar water.
And last question, what do you see the changes being, like in the last maybe year or two locally in the beer scene?
Well, I definitely see some of the newer breweries are trying to get away from the insanely hoppy beers because some of the new breweries just don't want to be more of the same. They want to experiment with other styles. And so I haven't personally been seeing all this stuff at Society, sours, and Council's been doing some sours, and a few other breweries are experimenting with saisons. So we're starting to see a little bit more variety out of the breweries, because as much as I really love the hoppy beers, I know not everybody loves the hoppy beers. And so some people really crave the sours or the sort of sessionable Belgians or other types of beers, and so those breweries are popping up and sort of filling the holes, so to speak, to make sure that there's options, because not everybody likes the lighter, sort of bright, citrusy, piney IPAs that I like. Some of the breweries have been doing a little bit of the darker, sort of traditional, balanced American IPAs as well. And as much as that's not really my thing, it's been selling well for them because that's really what other people are craving, sort of the maltier, darker types of beers.
Nice. Outstanding. I have a parting gift for you.
Yeah?
Every guest gets a sip. I brought a little Hophead vodka. This
Vodka?
is a hopped vodka that pairs perfectly with your
Oh, good. That's
beer.
a nice little pour. I was like, no.
Mississippi sip.
Yeah, I can smell the hops, and
Right?
the hops really, I mean, inherently sort of fit with vodka, so.
Yeah. It's a nice chaser for the beer. Or the other way around.
Wow.
It's not bad. Huh?
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. All right, Paul. Thank you
Cheers.
so much for taking the time.
Absolutely.
Go out there and taste those beers. Spread the San Diego hop gospel.
Absolutely.
Keep on keeping on.
Cheers.
Party on. There we have it. 2 guests down. We got a whole room of people here excited to orate, if that's a word. I don't think it is, but it is now. I have a couple of Twitter handles for me here. I wrote them backwards because I'm that considerate. And I'm also very, I'm a problem solver, so I can write backwards if necessary. Alan Kropf, Mutineer Meg. Say hello. We are going to be live tweeting back to you. All kinds of stuff going down. I might draw some pictures at some point. We have another guest. How the hell are you? I'm Alan. Hi, Joe. How we doing? Yeah, what's your story? Oh, we got a mic for you. There we are.
Even better.
There we go.
So I am here in San Diego, and I am always here in San Diego. I live here, and I started a.
I hear it's a good place to live if you're into beer.
It's nirvana if you're into beer. There's no question about that. It's partly why I moved here. And about a year ago, I started a beer website called brewstormers.com, and put up some content, and then ended up like taking people all around town to special events at breweries, craft beer bars, restaurants, brew pubs, homebrew shops, and we still do that about 5 or 6 times a month.
Nice.
But I am in the process of giving my website a professional facelift. I have a logo, and ramping up what I do.
You pop your URL, your link right there. Can you type it in?
Oh yeah.
That way everyone has it.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. Success. There's the link. Maybe. I got you. There we go. There's the link, as you were.
So anyway, the whole point is that that's going to look.
Background music calling that?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, it was like incidental music. It was nice.
Incidental, I like that.
Yes. What you might be looking at in the website now is going to radically change in a couple weeks. And we're going to be, first of all, we're going to have some content on the website. We're going to have a weekly beer article, hopefully something that will kind of stir up the beer turd, in the U.S. Things that are controversial issues, things that are...
Can you give me an example of something that you'd be passionate about, getting a dialogue going about?
For instance, we've been doing a lot of brewery tours lately, and they're always showing us the silo filled with spent grain. And spent grain is kind of a controversial thing. Like, how do you get rid of it in a bioecological, ethical manner? And so there's many different ways, and most of them aren't really being explored at this point in a way that they were like maybe even 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. So that might be one article. It could be anything. I could be writing about something here in San Diego. There's always a lot going on. And we'll do some beer reviews and kind of locally centered. This is Cosmic Mother Funk. I pronounced that correctly. It's from Sam Adams, and it is a sour, a Belgian wild with cherries. And I usually can't drink sours because I get some kind of allergic reaction to the yeast. So far, I'm good. So yeah.
You're the canary in the coal mine.
I'll let you know when you need to move that computer screen back a little bit. So yeah, we're excited. I come from I'm a chef, and my background is in teaching culinary. I moved here 3 years ago from Chicago, and I want to do some classes with cooking with beer, beer and barbecue, and beer and food pairing. So that's going to be on the site. And additionally, we're going to be doing a podcast, and we're not sure what it's going to be, but it's going to be live from a brewery or a craft beer bar, and it's going to be a weekly thing.
Nice.
We just have to decide who to talk to and what to talk about.
Important question.
Big question, yeah. But I think we're going to make it like about big ideas and big kind of riffing off of brewstormers and brainstorming and so forth. So.
Outstanding. What do you think of the conference?
I've really enjoyed the conference so far, and there's about another half of it left, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So far, so good though?
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite part so far?
Probably hearing Ken Grossman from Sierra Nevada speak was awesome. And last night we were at Karl Strauss here and heard Chris Kramer tell the full story of how he and his partner started that restaurant, that brewery. And then also for me, there was a pre-conference pub crawl coming down from LA, and the brewery opened up its barrel house to us, which was lovely of them. And then our last stop, almost midnight, was at Monkish Brewing in Torrance, which I highly recommend. Yeah, very great brewery. A lot of infusions in their beers, and I'll be back as a local.
Yes, outstanding. Well, great talking to you. I have a parting sip for you. A little hop-head vodka. This is a hop-infused vodka. All of the guests today get a mini shot.
All right.
To good health and good karma.
Spakos. Yeah.
Right? There you go. So nice to meet you. Go
Nice.
out there and sample some more beer. Check out his link. It's on the feed.
Okay. Thank you so much.
There we go. Cheers. Thank you. All right, we are rolling. We're on fire. We're unstoppable. Anything can happen. It is happening. Oh, hi.
I'm next.
You are. Here you go.
Awesome.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Good. I'm Alan.
Should I look at you or look at the computer?
Whatever you want to look at.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So,
I do a little bit of both.
yeah, I'll do
I
both.
keep it a little bit awkward, but a little,
It's good.
It is.
It's okay.
keeps it interesting.
I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah. Keeps it real.
How are you?
Outstanding and getting better. And yourself?
Excellent. I am doing well. This has been a fantastic conference.
Yeah. Are you a blogger?
Yes, I am.
What's your blog?
A beer makes three.
Beer makes three. Let's put that into the feed here. So www.beermakes. Scroll it out.
BEER. I think I put too many E's in there. MAKESTHREE.com.
Booyah! Beer makes three. And what is Beer Makes Three?
It's a blog. She's around the room somewhere. And our goal is to kind of educate and evangelize the world of craft beer in our community. We live in Nashville, Tennessee,
Nice.
which is
Fried chicken.
hot chicken.
Hot chicken.
Nashville hot
With the
chicken.
white bread.
The white bread and the
Ooh.
pickle and the cayenne
Wow.
pepper. Yeah, Nashville hot chicken is out of this world, and it's our culinary delicacy that only we have. Although it's spreading around the country, it started in Nashville,
It's legendary.
and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So Nashville's beer scene is blowing up.
Yeah.
You know, 4 years ago, we only really had 2 breweries and a couple brew pubs. Today, we're pushing, I think, 11 breweries and 3 or 4 more in planning. And it's people are starting to be converted. Still Bud Light country.
Is it?
You know, the good old boys out in the country, they still want their Bud Light. And but in the cities, we're starting to convert people.
Nice.
And, you know, once they try good beer, they don't want to go back.
Now, with your wife,
Mm-hmm.
does one of you specialize in one aspect of the blog and the other in something else? How does that whole dynamic
She does about 30% of the writing. I do the bulk of the writing. She's my editor.
Okay.
Nothing gets published without her say-so.
Okay. That's typically how it works.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So she's kind of in charge.
Nice. How
And
long have you guys been doing that?
A couple years.
Couple years.
We started it after the Beer Bloggers Conference in 2012 in Indy.
Nice.
So I was doing a homebrew blog and came away from that conference with so much new knowledge. I thought, we're going to change direction. We're going to totally rebrand. We're going to go do something different.
So you're clearly a fan of the conference.
Absolutely. 3 years in a row, and I hope I never miss it.
How has it changed over the last 3 years, in your opinion?
It just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Great people, new people. I can't remember ever being this big. And you know, getting better is hard when the bar has been set so high. I mean, in 2012, our kickoff keynote speaker was Garrett Oliver. It's like, how do you get better than Garrett Oliver? And then in Boston, the keynote kickoff was Jim Cook from Sam Adams. And then this year we got to hear from Ken Grossman at Sierra Nevada, and just all these big names are coming to this conference because they realize that the citizen bloggers are the ones that are spreading the word. They're doing the work of getting, you know, the gospel of beer out there.
Outstanding. And is this your first time in San Diego?
It is. I love this city. It's a great beer town. I didn't know what to expect from San Diego.
So what you expected? What did you expect?
I don't know. Well, for one, I didn't expect the hills. For some reason in my head, San Diego was flat.
Yes.
But there's hills here, and all the way from, you know, Stone and Alesmith to little guys like Council Brewing that we stopped by, who are a nano brewery on a 3-barrel system making fantastic beer, and it's just cool to see the wide range of craft beer here.
Outstanding. And as a writer, as a communicator, where are you at in your journey? What really inspires you? What are the challenges that you are tackling?
Well, for me, it's about educating people. Back in March, I passed my Cicerone test.
Congratulations.
Became a certified Cicerone. Thank you. And I really want to share that knowledge with the community. So I'm been trying to do a lot of posts on, you know, things like off flavors and tasting beer and pairing beer and helping people appreciate beer for what it is, which is this incredible food, really. And I always tell people, beer is food, and it goes so well with so many parts of our life, and especially the great food we eat. And it's all about, you know, keeping it local, keeping it fresh, and really just enjoying the goodness of life from all, you know, there's so much good stuff out there, and beer just kind of makes it better.
Do you have a go-to pairing to pair with Nashville hot chicken?
Good pale ale really works well for it because it's just really strong cayenne pepper, just heat. Totally different than buffalo chicken, which is very vinegary base sauce. Nashville hot chicken is a very dry rub, very thick and rich, and I've found especially our local pale ale, Yazoo Pale Ale, out of Nashville, Tennessee, goes great with Nashville hot chicken.
Outstanding. Anything else you'd like to share with the world?
The beer scene in Tennessee is really starting to blow up. Tennessee has 3 distinct pieces of the state. It's actually in our state constitution. There's West Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and East Tennessee. Culturally, geographically, they're very different. It's almost like 3 separate states. And beer has caught on about 10 years ago in Middle Tennessee, starting to really take off. East Tennessee's got a good brewing scene. West Tennessee has lagged behind. That's Memphis. And they've got 2 new breweries there, Wiseacre and Ghost River, doing really good beer. And Memphis is really starting to make it. But the whole state as a whole is doing and I think people are going to start hearing about Nashville beer, Tennessee beer really soon. Probably the most exciting thing happening in Tennessee right now is Yazoo has a program called Embrace the Funk, and it is all wild beers and sour beers. And for the beer bloggers here, I've got 3 bottles of very rare beer. There were only a few hundred of each bottle made. I'm going to be sharing those tonight. But the Embrace the Funk beers are fantastic. They're all different variants of Flanders Red. So
Outstanding.
It's going to be good stuff.
For you.
Thank you.
I have all the guests tonight get a mini shot of a hop-infused vodka from Anchor Distillery.
Wow.
It's outstanding to pair with a beer or in a Bloody Mary.
Oh, it smells like hops. Anchor, is it out of San Francisco? The same guys doing the brewery?
That's what you get if you talk to me.
That is fantastic. Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming by. Check out the link. Brewstormers. No, Beer Makes 3. Boom, right there.
Beer Makes 3.
Beer Makes 3. There it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Right back at you. Ho! 3 down. We're just getting it done. I don't know what a good batting average is for this, but we're batting 1,000. We can't be doing any better. I got a mic for you.
Mike.
You're number 4. You don't have to do
Lots of
anything.
pressure. I mean, I could lower your average to what? 800.
No, you're batting cleanup. You're gonna hit everybody home.
Absolutely.
How you doing?
I am great. And yourself?
I'm doing wonderful.
Beautiful night here, San Diego. Huge crowd here.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pouring Dogfish Head 120 minute. They're pouring Parabola 2014. Holy smokes. Fantastic beer, fantastic
This
people.
tasting doesn't suck.
Tasting does not suck. I mean, we're beer bloggers, right? It's like we could have been anything under the sun. Fitness bloggers, but no, we were smart enough to choose beer.
What is your scene?
My scene is Montana.
Montana.
My blog is Growler Phil's Craft Beer Enthusiasm
Yes.
out of Missoula, Montana.
Okay. Hold on. We have to. Okay, you have to write your URL.
My URL
Your
right
link.
now.
Yes. And I'm gonna make more elevator music.
More elevator music.
Cool.
It's even spelled correctly,
There
which
we
is
are.
quite a feat at this point in the evening.
Oh, the night is young.
Yes, it is. There are beers to
But
be
you guys have
had.
been drinking beer all day.
We've been drinking beers all day. We have, indeed. I mean, you know, people might tell you that this conference, people start drinking early in the morning because it's the Beer Bloggers Conference, and it's kind of in fashion these days to do that.
About
So
consistency.
it is about consistency. It's about it's about pacing. I mean, that's an important skill to learn as a beer blogger is pacing, of course. So we practice that. You can't practice if you don't start in the morning.
True. And let's see, Montana. The Zephyr guys who organized the conference are from Montana.
That's what I
No
understand.
speed limits in Montana. Or did they change that?
They did change that, sorry to say, but we adopted speed limits a good 12 years ago or so. It's still lightly
You say
enforced.
I'm out of touch with
You are a touch out of
Montana
touch.
pop culture.
If you have, yes.
What should I know about
Pat,
Montana beer?
What should you know about Montana beer culture? Well, Montana beer culture is now 45 breweries in a state with just over 1 million people.
High five. I'm assuming that's an improvement.
It's an incredible increase in just the last few years. Going from, you know, the mid-20s through now 45 breweries in only about 3 or 4 years. It's the same kind of craft beer rise you're seeing everywhere else. And it's what's great about Montana breweries is they have become these small tap rooms that are the cultural centers of small towns. So 15 breweries in the largest cities. We're talking about a brewery in every small city, small town in Montana. So towns of 1,000 people, towns of 2,000 people, of 3,000 people are getting a brewery. And they literally are becoming these family-friendly places where mom and dad can take the kids down and they can have a beer. The kids can play over in the corner and nobody bats an eye because it's just an accepted part of the culture and people are responsible about it. And it becomes that sort of English pub model where it's the place where you get to hang out, you get the news, and you get to catch up with your neighbors and just enjoy a great time at a place that happens to also make great beer and wants to share it with everybody and just enjoy the Montana lifestyle. We're laid back. We're a little more easygoing up there. Nobody's in too big of a rush. And we've got the outdoors right outside. Everything, everywhere in Montana you go, it's about enjoying life, taking the time to do it. Got Glacier National Park up in the northwest corner. Got Yellowstone in the southwest corner. We happen to live in Missoula, Montana, which is right in between both of them. We've got 4 breweries now. We got a 5th one open next week. We got another one right outside of town. So it's a great state to be in for craft beer right now, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
And what are some breweries to be on the lookout for that maybe have some distribution outside of the state?
Distribution outside of the state from Montana is not prominent right now. You've got Big Sky, which is the one that most people know of from Montana. They're making some excellent specialty beers. I shared some around this morning, and they were big hits. Some Ivan the Terrible Stout, some Five Valleys Wheat Wine. They were great beers. They were well received and the like. One that you should be on the lookout for, though, is Flathead Lake Brewing Company. Right now, they don't distribute outside of Montana. But they're building their new facility right now. It's close to being done. They just hired about a year ago. They hired a sour specialist from Deschutes, David Brendegard. So he came over to join head brewmaster Tim Jacoby, who makes fabulous beers already. Wonderful espresso porter and some other great beers. But now they're going to start really Montana's first sour program. Number of places are doing a couple of sours here and there, but Flathead Lake Brewing Company is wanting to do it right. So they've got this great new facility right on the edge of Flathead Lake, beautiful views, mountains in the distance, this huge lake, and they're going to start creating these beers that you're just going to love. So I think you're going to start seeing here, probably in another 2 years, people over in Washington and Idaho and some of these other states are going to start going, wait a minute, what is this? Who are these guys from Flathead Lake? Because I really think they are probably one of the ones that are primed to get out of Montana and start showing off what people are doing in the state.
And do you find yourself engaging an audience outside of Montana with your content?
I do with my content because I've never tried to be specifically Montana focused.
Gotcha.
On the other hand, when you're in Montana and you're one of only the 2 guys in the entire state of 1 million people who are really blogging about this stuff, I realize so you just start getting this. Publicize my event. Hey, here's some news. I want you to do this. So you start being that. But I take on issues. What I try to do is take issues that are nationally relevant but make them relevant to Montana. So what is this craft versus crafty thing? What is that? What does that mean for Montana? What does it mean when we had the government shutdown and there were issues about getting label approvals? Well, does anybody care about label approvals in Montana? And so I've been able to take those bigger stories and show how they are relevant to Montanans and how they affect our own beer scene. So it's great because if you're interested in that topic, you can still come to the blog, learn about that topic. But you can also see then if you're in Montana and you want specific Montana news, you kind of get that bite as well.
Outstanding. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the world?
The world should come to Montana. They already are, frankly. I mean, when you got Glacier National Park and you got Yellowstone National Park, they're already coming to us. Stop by and make sure that you take advantage of the craft beer scene as well, because we're number 2 in the nation now per capita for breweries. Number 2, number 3.
Is that how it works out?
That's how it works out. We've got 45 operating. We're gonna end up probably hitting 50 by the end of this year. And there's a lot of southern states with 10 times the population that can't claim that. So we've got some great breweries, and you're just going to enjoy life when you spend a week in Montana and you go rafting, you go kayaking, you go hiking up in Glacier, and then you get to finish your evening with a beer at a fantastic brewery with a great patio looking out on the Montana scenery. You are going to wonder why you ever need to go home.
Sold. There it is.
Excellent.
Parting gift, a hop-infused vodka.
Hop-infused
from
vodka.
Anchor Brewers and Distillers up in San Francisco.
Anchor Brewers.
Hophead. All the guests get a mini
Holy
shot.
smokes, is that a great aroma or what?
Heck yes. Game on.
Wow. Okay, I take back everything good I said about Montana. I'm moving to San Francisco and getting that hop-infused vodka.
You have excellent taste and a great name, Alan. Truly a pleasure.
Yes,
Go
Alan.
drink some more beer.
I will do.
I'm sure we're going to run into each other again tonight. The night is very young.
Fabulous.
Outstanding, sir. There we go. Yes, we are. We got it. Thank you. Oh, we got this. We are off the rails, but we were never on the rails. Oh, snap. What just happened? Oh, my God. Is it a face from the past? Could it be the man, the cross-category enigma that is Mr. Adam Levy? How are you, sir? We cross paths so much. Boom, we got you a mic.
Got me on a mic. I'm impressed now. We are on a weird liquor circuit. We first met around 4 or 5 years ago at Tales of the Cocktail.
We did.
Had drinks down there, which is shocking to happen down at Tales. I think the last 6 months we probably seen each other here. Tales of Wine Bloggers, Tales, and the Whiskey Live, the Whiskey Conference, where you basically stood up there in your young upstart way and just took and said, who did Mr. King hire? I mean, this is not Mr. King does not do this.
Yes.
He comes from Berry Brothers. He doesn't bring like this brash young man.
They were confused.
They were shocked. You hit him. It was it was like 10:30, 11 o'clock when you got on there, because I didn't go early those things.
Yeah.
Usually the CEOs speak early and they leave so they can have a real job.
Yeah.
And I get there around 10:30, 11. Yeah, you basically slapped them awake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you took that panel over and it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. It's a proverbial slap.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So where's the camera? Over there?
Yeah, but it's whatever goes. Here we
Okay.
are.
So should I come closer? Hello.
Yeah,
There's my head.
There
There's my head. Oh, look at that dome. Oh my God. Rogaine failed me.
So we're talking about the competition, right?
Sure. You tell me what we're going to talk about.
Badass. Because if I could sum it up from my perspective,
Mm-hmm.
you go straight to the people that are in a position to make the hard decisions to buy this stuff. They have a vested interest in how these brands do because they vote with their wallet in a way. So you're going to these people that are so qualified to really judge these brands. You're going to the buyers. You've built a competition around those folks.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, we're the only international competition I know of, since this is our year of international expansion. So New York started for us 5 years ago. We're the only competition out there where only trade buyers are judging the categories by its price and by its category. So basically, if it's 10 tequilas, blancos, there's 10 tequila blancos put in front of you, $18, $24, $29, $27. Would you buy for that price? So it's a blind taste test. Same thing happens in wine. 10 Rieslings come out. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Would you buy for that price? Beer. 10 Hefeweizens come out. $6, $8, $12, $11 for a six-pack. Would you buy for that price? No one else does that. And only trade buyers.
How many years have you done the beer?
So our third year, we did it back in February. We always try to do it now the week after the Super Bowl. Most beer buyers are usually calmer then.
And what have you learned over the last couple of years? What revelations have presented themselves?
What revelation have come to? Oh, that's interesting. Price is a big factor in life. I think the trade's getting more of awareness of what the competition's about. I think I'm seeing a lot more international whiskeys coming in. I'll go by competition. So when I discover on the spirit side, a lot more international whiskeys are coming in, not just the Scotch situation. The craft guys are really raising their game in the last 2 or 3 years, especially. Tequila and mezcal is definitely growing in quality. What we're seeing here. On the wine side, we're seeing a lot more Portuguese, a lot of New Zealand, a lot more Australian wines come in. We're seeing a lot of other places that you don't really expect to see. Virginia's number 4 in production, but they're definitely increasing their quality there. We're seeing a lot of Texas Hill Country wines coming in that people in New York never thought they would see. And this is your year of international expansion. So we launched Berlin International Spirits Competition back in March. Today's Saturday. Tomorrow I get on a plane and I fly to Melbourne. And we're launching the Melbourne Wine and Spirits Competition. So we're taking this on the road, taking that philosophy on the road. Trade buyers judging by its category, by its price.
So for our audience out here,
Mhm.
who's saying, I'm interested in this, I want to learn more, where can they maybe look at past winners, past results, so on and so forth?
Sure. Basically, for the spirits competition, New York, it's NYIspiritscompetition.com, NYIwinecompetition.com, NYIbeercompetition.com.
I'm going to add that www.nyi.
Let's try the end first. There we go.
Beer
Competition.
Booyah.
And then we got the Berlin International Spirits Competition. You can just Google this. That's fine. And it's growing. We're very excited about that.
Outstanding. So all the past winners are up there.
All the past winners are up there from all previous years, yes.
And did anything surprise you about how the beer results turned out? I mean, price?
Beer results, I think I was more impressed with some of the craft guys how they did well. I think last year Oscar Blues did phenomenal with their can. You know, they just blew it out of the park that way. People don't realize how many styles that Sam Adams makes. I mean, they submitted a large quantity of beers. I don't want to say how many, but they submitted, and I didn't think they made that many styles of beers. We saw right here in San Diego. We saw a phenomenal respect out of San Diego, winning in there. We also see some great beers coming out of Cincinnati. So it's not just like one region. It's not just the Pacific Northwest anymore. You know, no offense to those guys, and they do a phenomenal job up there. But you know, you've seen San Diego beer scenes growing, just going in Cincinnati. We're seeing beers coming, obviously Dogfish and other places like that. But still, there are still great pockets of great beer being made around the country.
And what do you think of the conference this year? I mean, I know we still got tomorrow and whatnot, but what do you think?
I think it's a great conference. I mean, I've gone to 3 wine conferences with these guys. This is my first beer conference. Obviously, it's smaller, it's more compact, it's much more beer freaks, which is great. You know, they really talk about this. Instead of having an expert in Bordeaux versus an expert in Marlborough region stuff, this is all about beer.
It feels more chill to me, right?
It is much more relaxed because the wine thing, just like the wine competition,
It's like amped up.
you get somebody who's has a PhD level knowledge of, let's say, Bordeaux, like I said before, or they know Napa, they know Sonoma, that's all they know. Here, everybody knows beer. You know, I may be an IPA freak, I may be a Weiss freak, I may be a Doppelbock freak. It's a different level of like sharing. People bringing their favorite local beers with them to this beer taste later on. It's a different vibe.
Outstanding. Anything else you want to share with the world?
Check out the Alcohol Professor, which we review beer, wine, and spirits.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, we got a great website. We call the Alcohol Professor, which I'm theoretically called that. We cover beer, wine, and spirits. We cover events. We cover great things. What to bring to your mother for Mother's Day, to graduation stuff. We got great writers. I got a phenomenal editor named Amanda Schuster, and her job is to make me look intelligent. And she does a great job doing that because she's a phenomenal writer, better than me. And Amanda really, my job is to find writers. Like here at this conference, I found a couple of writers hopefully write from us. I had some of my writers here already who write for us here at this conference, and they've had some great content, you know. And we cover a lot of interesting topics.
So I mean, I got to tell you guys, I've had the chance to work with Adam in the past. He's a great guy to network with. Reach out to him on social or through his website. Just a really good kind of mover and shaker, whether it's content, education, the competition. Just you're on it. You know, you always do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Always good to see you.
Always good to see you, sir.
I have a parting gift, and I know you've
You
had
do?
this before.
Oh my!
Yes, all of the guests.
Uh-oh.
Get a mini shot.
Oh, I know that. I've had this before. I've had this before.
Hophead vodka. It's appropriate.
It's appropriate.
It's appropriate.
To
Mixes it up a little bit.
To Mr. King.
There we go. To Mr. King.
Always good.
There we go. Always a pleasure to see you.
And you, sir.
I'm sure it won't be long until I see you again.
Hopefully not.
Party on. Yes. Woo-hoo. Yeah. All right, guys. I don't know if you're still with me. We're doing awesome. I think. No. Marathon. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I would beat my chest like a gorilla, but I don't want to break the mic. Woo! I'm just excitable. Yeah. It's like a pressure release valve for me. It's like an ADD. I'm not sure what to do. We have more people coming. Yes. Oh, hi.
Alan.
Yes.
The famous Alan. We've not connected much in
No.
person. I know about you. I'm Junior from the Brewing Association.
Hello.
Hi.
No way.
I'm talking.
Well, you're the famous one.
You're doing big things.
Yes.
Hold it up.
Yes. Well, I'm excited. You guys do such a good job.
Well, thank you. We're working hard. I mean, we have been working very hard to get the word out. I represent the small craft brewers in the U.S. It's a great job.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm excited now. I got my own mic.
Oh, you got a mic.
They don't trust me with that. It's above my pay grade.
You're kind of a crazy man. I think you're everywhere and doing amazing things. And how are things going?
Awesome.
I'll interview you. How about that?
Whoa, okay. Mutineer is going very well. My
Good.
brother is the editor-in-chief now. I've taken a brief hiatus to take over education at Anchor Distilling Company, which is connected to Anchor Brewers. Which I
Wow.
know
My
you know
first
very well.
brewery tour ever was Anchor on my cross-country trip when I quit my job at CNN, Washington, D.C., broadcast journalism major. Quit my job 2 years into CNN. Parents thought I was crazy.
Whoa.
9 months on the road, camping, brew pubs in my 20s. And what was the first brewery tour when I finally made it from East Coast DC to West Coast was Anchor.
High five.
So I totally respect your choice of brewery and such history there. Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So life is good. How's your world?
Big things. Brewers Association. We got craftbeer.com. Wow, there's a screen. Great American Beer Festival is coming up. A lot of time here, enjoying the last 2.5 days of the Bloggers Conference. I was in Chicago last week doing a market visit and a media dinner. But we have a lot of stuff in the cooker. We're dropping a culinary course for food educators in the fall. Craftbeer.com is taking the U.S. beer styles and putting them in A to Z so people can finally memorize what the heck's going on with each style. That will drop in the fall. And everything we build and try to do is, you don't have to be a beer geek, but we want craft beer to be accessible. We want beer to be accessible, and people need more information. It's a wave. We're almost reaching a tipping point in the marketplace. I mean, 8% by volume of a $100 billion U.S. beer market. That's a very small piece of a huge pie, and we want it to grow. So it's all about education.
Okay, so I am so excited right now. I have some really just all these questions in my head.
Okay.
First question, how have you guys as an organization managed to grow and evolve with the culture and the industry in such a positive, constructive way?
Great question. If you do or don't know the history of the association, we started in 1978 with Charlie Papazian under the homebrewing arm of the world as the American Homebrewers Association. That is such a different environment than to where we are today. So from 1978, when there were less than 100 brewing companies in the U.S., to today where there are more than 3,040, I think it's a great question. How have we evolved as the national association that represents the majority of breweries? And we've evolved in baby steps. I think that's the answer. Great American Beer Festival, 33 years old. Craft Brewers Conference, the main gathering, an 80 seminar conference with 400 trade exhibitors every year, over 30 years old. We have mainstay events. American Homebrewers Association National Competition, I just came back from in the Northeast, and that was the world's largest competition for beer. It usurps commercial competitions when we have the NHC. So our little anchor events have just grown and grown and grown. And then things that I'm involved in, we added craftbeer.com 5 years ago. And so I think we've just watched an evolving community of beer lovers, an evolving community of homebrewers and professional brewers, and tried to stay pace to be kind of the network and conduit, and then still let everybody organically figure it out amongst themselves. So it's a really hard question to answer, but I think baby steps is an easy way to say it.
Can you elaborate on that kind of organically figuring it out for themselves? Because I think it's really special what you guys have done, and it hasn't lost its soul.
Yeah.
And it's not a polarizing organization. You know, I feel like it's something that people really buy into, and it's something that people really respect. It's very relevant. It's just such a powerful platform.
It is, and I mean, part of it is some of the statistics that we produce, and I really do feel that networking component has been key for the individuals involved. And then I gave the title talk yesterday, the kickoff talk, and my theme was bring along the uninitiated. I think Charlie's had that theme since the beginning, and it's just my adaptation of it. And so every year and every employee and every event and every pint and every bottle from our members, I think, has been that theme of like bring along the uninitiated. So it's hard to kind of elaborate in a concise fashion, but it's been one step at a time, and you can't force feed it. You know, there's a difference between what's the opposite of authenticity is artificial. Yeah. And we're kind of that inroads that the Brewers Association to allow the breweries of today to have a voice. We are a membership organization. We are directed by our members. Talk about the definition of craft brewers, which is sometimes a lightning rod topic, but yet I spoke yesterday of like, look, I'm a person behind that definition. People, one of the number one questions I ask by consumer media from outside the world, high-end consumer media, some of the major publications and TV networks, they just want to know what a craft brewer is. We just want to share that with them. Yeah. So we have sat down years ago and defined what it was. And as that definition has evolved and our statistics have pushed forward, what's going on with the small brewers today compared to the large global brewers, and those are both, by the way, beautiful business efforts, we have been able to define the difference of the challenges, the access to market, the effort that it takes. And so I think while that's gone on, we've had more of an equalization in the marketplace. And no longer is it just, you know, national beer brands. That's gone. That end of the rainbow has gone to global beer brands. The big brewers have done that. And then on the flip side, you've got that localization of beer movement. 94%, by the way, of today's 3,040 breweries make less than 15,000 barrels of beer a year. So somebody's got to represent them, and we're proud to do it, and we've been doing it since 1978 in a way, no matter how you look at it.
And what are your observations in terms of where this all fits into what you guys are doing in the craft brewer vision?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of my jokes yesterday was like, you bloggers are my people. And I mean, I'm a beer lover first and foremost. Most people that work at the association are. You are a cross-drinking maniac, and I love it. I'm so
cross-drinking? It's like cross-training for your palate.
No, it's absolutely cross. It's like raise your right hand if you drink beer. Keep it up. Raise your left hand if you drink wine. Cross it if you drink spirits. You're a cross drinker, you're out of the closet, admit it, and you're good with that, and I'm good with that, we're in it together. You know, we are all appreciators of the finer beverages, and so I think that's a thing we pay attention to as well.
And how is this? What kind of variable does the decentralized, completely democratized beer blogging digital media? What role does that play in the evolution of the overall culture and industry?
There's a lot of big words in one question. Yeah, back to this. 2 questions ago. What are we doing here? I mean, this is beer bloggers, and that's a hard thing to define within itself. There's different variants of it. Some are opinion columnist type, and some are journalist type. The people in this room and the 150 people at this conference this weekend are people that further the beverage. They are hobbyists for the most part. There's some people that are full-time bloggers or beer writers, and they also happen to have a blog. Where that all fits in is it's a component of kind of power back to the people. This is not a beverage that we're all just mass marketed convinced from 7 impressions a day on advertising to drink. We pay attention to the brands we drink, some of us at least, because we feel it represents us. And so what the beer bloggers do, and I so respect it, and they do it for the love of it, and that's what's even more to be admired, is they write on what they care about. And when they're busy doing that, we all as beer lovers can get information on what they're out there already learning as advanced beer lovers. So it really is a key component in helping forward the whole movement.
And do you have any big takeaways from this conference in particular? Any observations?
I love Ken Grossman's talk today. He triggered a little, but not even deep enough, because there's such a sense of need for quality. Craft beer absolutely is bettering the beverage of beer. Craft beer, I like to say, reclaims beer's place at the dinner table, all of that. But with 3,000 breweries in the marketplace and then 1,900 in planning, we've got a definite need to have small brewers who are getting into it, not just as a small business dream, but to hopefully have staying power, to continue to show the world that we are the #1 destination in beer because we can produce world-class quality beer. So big takeaway is, just watching Ken talk, being so humble, and knowing behind work like members like that or brewers like that go into what's gone on in this movement. So that was a great takeaway.
And I would guess that the blogging community has an opportunity to further that as well. Be a big player, play a big role.
Yeah, and we got into one of the ethics panels this morning, which was opposite when you were giving your talk on videography and photography. I sat in, and Jay Brooks and Brandon from Stone had a really good panel on how do you approach the ethics in blogging? What if you come across a brewery and you actually don't like their beer? Do you report on it? What do you do? And I mean, my comment was there's a difference between fair critique and just critique. And we're all kids. I got a microphone in my hand. We're all kids in a schoolyard. This could be a megaphone on the internet right now, right? I can yell as loud as I want, though, but I'm looking like an asshole if I don't do it with class. Yeah. So part of the point is that the bloggers need to realize you're all grown up playing in the little kid sandbox, or you're in the big kid sandbox and you realize that. So if you're going to critique a brewery, do it with class, do it with tact, and let them know what issues you had in a way that is what we're maybe used to seeing when a restaurant reviewer would go in and you don't like the restaurant service, but every component of what that brewery is doing is usually not wrong. It's just maybe one component. So do it with a way that's constructive and will forward the movement, than in a way that will actually burn you as a blogger in the back end of things.
Awesome. And finally, do you have anything else you'd like to share with all the folks tuning in that weren't able to make it here in person but are part of our broadcast tonight?
Sure. This is really weird, number one. And, I mean, just great community. It sounds like we'll be in Asheville next year for the Beer Bloggers Conference. Zephyr Adventures does a great job. This is an event that's put on by an outside organization, certainly not a Brewers Association event. I've been to all 5 of them, and just to gather people around that like beer so much is a wonderful thing. So it's definitely worth traveling for if and when you're able.
Yes. I have a small parting gift for you for all the guests today.
Okay, we got a little. You're wearing the shirt too,
A little splash of Hophead.
Good God! Does that smells like the best dry hopped beer I have ever had. I mean, it really is coming through, and it's not.
It's hopped vodka.
I know, but what hops are in there?
It's a proprietary secret. It's a blend.
The hops that I get in there are not caddy, they're not pine, they're not citrus, they're not earthy, they're not like any other hop I've had. That's amazing.
Yes. Oh, I'm having fun. This is awesome. Thank you so much for coming over and talking to me.
Tin Tin.
Yes.
To you and your gut-burning hop vodka.
Yes, I'll talk it out. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. That was so awesome. I need 2 mics. What now? I'm breaking all the rules. I'm unstoppable. I know more are on the way. They're like salmon spawning up a stream to their ultimate destination, their home, which is in the guest chair. I'm cool. I'm just hanging out. We're having fun. I have no idea how many people are. I'm not even going to talk to this. I got my own mic. I don't even know how many people are tuning into this, but. Oh, heck yeah. Let's do it. Hello. A man that needs no introduction.
How are you?
Outstanding. Yourself?
A while ago.
Yeah. You've been in the magazine.
Yeah, no, I know. You
You had a whole spread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you like disappear up to the hills and take your office and put it up there somewhere?
We did in Calaveras.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
There we go.
Okay.
So.
How does this
too
work?
Far from home?
No, I'm not actually.
Just a little drive.
Yeah. About 4.5, 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
Took me about 6.5, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we like to think San Diego is part of our local market. I mean, it's obviously relative. When there's 100+ beautiful breweries down here who would say they are local, and they are. So
how many of these conferences have you been to?
it's my first.
It's your first.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's really good. I remember the guy who started this, Sophia. I remember meeting him at an event I did at Hamilton's Tavern years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and he was talking about this, and I was like you're crazy. And he wasn't. He was absolutely right on. So, yeah, it's cool.
Anything surprise you?
No, this is exactly as I expected it to be. Like a tight group of interested, potent individuals. It's good.
And what are you guys pouring tonight?
Parabola.
Yeah.
And an opal.
Nice.
So, yeah. And most people here know the beers. But yeah, it's just great to be here with everybody.
And what's shaking in your world in general? What's new?
We're sort of managing the riddle. We're having a great couple of years, just like all craft brewers, and I think all the evangelizing everybody's been doing for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years is paying off now. So we're just trying to make great, high-quality beer and be honest to the markets that we supply beer to, and try and make plans for the next 5 years, which is hard.
Anything exciting in the pipeline?
Well, everything is. I mean, actually, probably the thing that I'm most fixated on at the moment is we bought some property in Venice, Marina del Rey area in LA, and we're putting a brewery in there. We call it the Propagator, and we're actually moving our social media guys. Some of our social media guys are moving down there. We're going to put some offices in. We're going to have a nice sort of restaurant tasting area. But I think that's going to be a really interesting charge. It's going to be fairly large location, so it's going to be great. I mean, we're going to be buzzing backwards and forwards between the two places, and so that's on the cards for 2015. And we got to still get through all the various permitting hoops, which in a big city is just a mind-numbing and difficult thing to do. But we'll get there.
That used to be my screen name on eharmony.com.
Mind-numbingly difficult?
No, the Propagator.
Oh, no way. All right.
It'd be a good one, though.
Good.
So let's see. Today was good.
Yep.
Are you sticking around tomorrow?
Actually, no. I'm leaving early tomorrow.
Oh, where are you headed?
Back north.
Back north?
Yeah.
Back home?
Back home. Sorry.
There you go. Well, outstanding. Well, good to see you.
Yeah.
Anything
And you?
else you'd like to share with all the folks at home?
No, just keep drinking great beer.
There you go. It doesn't get better than that.
No, it doesn't. All right, man.
So, wait. I have a parting gift for everybody.
Oh, you do?
You got a mini sip of Anchor Hophead Vodka.
Ooh. Right.
Little palate cleanser for you. Have you had that before?
No, I haven't. But that's another crazy world. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
It's good to see this.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm digging it.
Good guys are in charge.
There we go.
All right.
There
Cheers.
we go. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Bye.
Party on. There we go. I need a little Foley board with sound effects, like a morning zoo radio show. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, hi, Tiffany.
Hi, how are you?
Outstanding.
Good.
This is the gauntlet of awesomeness. It's on.
It's on. Oh
It's
my
on.
goodness.
99 bottles is in the house.
I got
I am a
bottles in my bag.
Washington guy at heart. I live in San Francisco now. I'm a Seahawk. I am a
Go
Puget
12 man.
Sound, raised, 99 bottles. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Awesome. Where should we start?
What do you want to talk about?
What's 99 bottles?
We're a specialty beer store. I feel like I need to scoot in the frame here.
It's good. I'm terrible at this.
Specialty beer store in south of Seattle, near SeaTac Airport. We have over 1,200 different beers in stock all the time. A lot of limited, a lot of rare, a lot of local. For Washington, we have about, on the books, we've been open for almost 8 years now. On the books, we have about 5,300 different beers we've had in this store over the years. So if it comes into Washington, we bring it in the shop pretty much. We also carry some meads and ciders.
Nice.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And has the store changed at all recently? Has it been evolving, or is it just more?
It's been interesting. 2 years ago, Washington State privatized liquor. They passed 1183. When the voters, when they passed it, they thought they were going to get cheaper alcohol or spirits and more accessible spirits. What they got was a bunch of warehouse stores coming in, like Total Wines and Bevmos, because you have to be over 10,000 square feet to carry spirits in Washington now. So we have kind of had the rug pulled out underneath us a little bit this year. We had 2 Total Wines open within 1 month of each other. One 10 miles away, one 20 blocks from us. Wow. So we're right now kind of regrouping, trying to figure out how to get people in the shop. People come in and they buy stuff, and they know they are getting that personal attention from us. Because what our goal is always to get people in the beers they like, not in beers that we're mandated to sell like the big chains are. So it's just getting people back in the door is what we're working on right now.
Outstanding. Yeah. Do you guys offer shipping at all?
No, unfortunately, I've started checking into shipping and running into a lot of no's from the state liquor control boards. A lot of the states have agreements with wineries that are reciprocal to Washington State, but when it comes to beer, the beer industry has not lobbied the state liquor control boards enough, and most of them are saying it's illegal to ship beer into their states from retail. So, yeah. Unfortunately, no. You have to come to us.
Well, I think you guys are awesome, and the store is awesome. It's one of my favorites of all time in the entire universe. You guys are so good at what you do.
Yeah.
And I just know so many people that make pilgrimages to you guys. It's just on it.
We get a lot of pilgrimage. Yeah. I mean, we draw people. We have people coming from Canada all the time because we're so close to SeaTac. We see a lot of people who love craft beer who are traveling from out of town. A lot of sorry about that. A lot of people looking for local beers, especially because we really specialize that. We have 8 taps for growler fills, and we also do tastings. We're not a tavern, so we don't sell pints. But our fill station, we have the Pegasus Craft Tap. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what that does is it blows out all the oxygen out of the jug, fills it with CO2. And then you do the fill, so you get this long shelf life. We focus on almost 100% draft-only product on our fill stations.
What's some stuff you got going?
Right now we've got, oh gosh, they just sent me the Fillbird this morning because I've been posting that while I'm here at the conference, working remotely. We have on right now some Naked City. We have some Rainy Days, which is a Sal Larry brewery. We have Georgetown, Mac and Jack's. Our Boneyard from Oregon, Bend, Oregon. So we're really focused on those drafts. But what's nice about that, if you're traveling from out of town, you can either buy a glass growler or bring your own one. As long as it's clean, we can fill it. And because we're doing that CO2 counterfill, which is the same technology that you're filling jugs with at the or bottles at the brewery, is that you're going to get that long shelf life, so you can transport that back home with you.
Nice.
And you're going to have a good, up to 6 week shelf life easy on that beer before you crack it open. So it's nice to be able to travel around and come and see us with that. So.
What are you drinking right now?
I'm drinking right now, this is the Muddy, which is a Russian Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
From Goose Island. It's going to be new. They're coming to Seattle to Browers Cafe in I think a week or two to do a big release with this and a bunch of other Goose Island
Browers in forever.
Oh, it's wonderful. I love it.
God, I don't get up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're doing good up there?
Oh, yeah. Browers is fantastic.
Is it still the same spot?
Same spot, yeah. But Ballard, next time you make it to Ballard, oh my God, there's like so many breweries that have been popping up. I mean, I can't even name them all. There's been, we're at over 300 breweries in Washington State now.
Wow.
Yeah. So lots of craft beer there, and you can actually do walking tours through Ballard now because there's so many small craft breweries popping up.
Anyone in particular have your attention and inspiration?
Oh, for drinking? Yeah. All of them. We pretty much try everything that comes in the store as much as we can. That's kind of a requirement of working at 99 Bottles is you have to like beer. And I've got a staff of two, a gal named Portland, that's her nickname, and because she's from Portland, and she knows all things Portland. And then there's John, and he's been with us for 2 years, and they're just fantastic. They love trying new beers, and we'll sit together after work sometimes and just crack open a couple beers and see, what's this taste like. And we think about different customers who are regulars and like, oh, so-and-so would love this, and so we can point those things out next time they're in. So awesome. It's a lot of fun.
And what are you thinking of the conference this year?
Oh, God, I love it. Yeah, so many good. The content's been excellent. The social media this afternoon, fantastic. And Brian Kropf from Mutineer magazine this morning, oh, my God. His little photography session was really good. Yeah.
And
the breweries, the pre-conference excursion.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Did you go on that?
No.
I didn't think so. I
had to drive down from LA this morning.
Oh, no.
So I'm so bleary-eyed.
Yeah. We stopped at 5 breweries. We went to Golden Road, and I got to meet Franny, who I've been Instagram friends with for a long time, and she's just adorable, so that was kind of fun. We got to go to, oh, gosh, if I can remember all the breweries, Angel City, Monkish, Smog City, and then we got a special tour of the brewery's barrel room where they were cracking into some of the limited stuff that we just don't see in Washington at all. Oh my God, it was amazing. I've never had just fresh from the barrel like that, and yeah, it was magic.
And you know where my little brother is right now?
Is he there?
He's up in Tacoma.
Oh, he's in Tacoma?
Yeah, he's hanging out with my parents. I'm sure he's going to stop by.
Well, if he comes in after Sunday, I'll be there. I'll be there on Tuesday.
Oh, I don't know how long he's going to be up there. I know he's up there now.
Yeah, I work Tuesday through Saturday, so come in and see me.
Yes. Else you'd like to share with the world?
Oh, drink lots of good craft beer.
Wait, where do people follow you? I'm going to put it in the little stream.
99 Bottles Beer on Twitter.
At 99 Bottles Beer. Not that. Oh, there we go. Oh, it won't let me.
Yep.
Boom.
And 99bottles.net on the web. And Facebook is just 99 Bottles.
Awesome store. Awesomeness. Sharing. All the guests on the show.
Oh, no. What is
Hophead vodka. Hophead vodka.
Oh, fantastic.
It's a shot of courage. Right? You're ready for round 2 now. Huh?
That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. It's okay. We're in the future. Anything's possible.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah, I'm just going to lick the glass.
Tiffany, so happy that you made it by and we got to say hello. Hug it out.
Hug it out.
Yes. All right, go party on. The night is young. Anything can happen.
And I like to give you shout outs.
Booyah. There it is. Woohoo! Oh, it's on. We can't be stopped.
No.
No. No. We're like Macklemore. Can't stop us. I have ADD. Awesome. Yeah, relentless. No way, you can't break me. People are just fighting to get on this thing. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. I was just hanging out, thought it was just like whoever stops by, I didn't realize there was a line and a thing.
Yeah. So we're just talking.
I'm happy to talk.
You are a photographer.
I am I like to call myself an amateur hobbyist photographer.
That'll work. So what's your scene? What do you do? What's your beer connection?
I'm in Cincinnati. I focus on the Cincinnati beer scene, Cincinnati, Ohio. I do a lot of opinion, commentary, editorial stuff, as well as some coverage of the local beer scene and some reviews of local beer scene.
Oh crap! We're gonna start over because I didn't have the mic. But let's start by putting your URL in here. You just type it in so people have it. I should fire myself because I am terrible at mic management. He can't type on a Mac. We're both fired. We're going to get this URL right. There we go. There's your mic.
Okay.
Okay, so Queen City Drinks.
.com.
Is the website.
Yes.
If people go to Queen City Drinks, what are they going to find?
Actually, a lot of book reviews is what I've been doing lately. Some editorial opinion posts. I have a lot of guest posters.
Mm-hmm.
I have a continual guest poster who covers liquor and wine in the general tri-state area of Cincinnati, Kentucky, Indiana. I have random guest posters, and that's kind of generally what we get. So.
What's the last beer book you read?
Actually, Vintage Beer by Patrick Dawson.
Yeah.
Is my last my last post on the blog, last book I read.
What'd you think?
Well,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I was very intrigued when I first heard about this book. I love to age my beer. I've got a 8-year-old Trappist Roquefort 10 and a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I thought, how can you write an entire book about aging beer? There's just not enough content. And after reading this book, I still don't think there's enough content. It's a very small book. If you look at my blog, I've got a picture of the book next to a banana for scale. It's a very small book. It's 150 pages, lots of big.
How'd you choose a banana?
Well, do you go on the internet? A banana is the scale for everything on the internet. That's how. Oh yes, it is. Oh yes. Go on Reddit. Look like Reddit for scale. It's all bananas. That's the only way to judge a scale of anything is by a banana.
Not just male envy, but everything.
Everything. Yes. There's no euphemisms here.
No.
It doesn't matter what it is. It's a banana.
It just works.
Exactly. Because you know the size of a banana, like 6 to 9 inches, right? That's what. So, anyways,
You're the one using a banana instead of a ruler.
It's a small format book. They're small pages.
You prove your point.
Yes.
Okay.
And it has great information. It's packed with great information. Styles to age, how to age it, temperatures, conditions, light, darkness, what you're going to expect over time. But I kind of feel like, at least to me and to people I've talked to, a lot of this stuff is general knowledge. Where this book really shined is that he took maybe 12 beers, like Bigfoot Barley Wine, Trappist Roquefort 10, Dre Fontaine, Oud Goose. He took these and he did a 10-year vertical of these beers and reviewed them year by year by year by year by year. And he had a graph of different major flavor elements and how they change over time. And I was like, holy crap, that graph is amazing. Next month, I'm doing a 17-year vertical of Bigfoot. And I already sent that graph to everybody and said, this is what we're looking for. This is what we have to go on. I've got this vertical of Trappist Roquefort 10 I'm working on. That graph is invaluable to me right now. So out of 150 pages, there's 30 that I feel are just crucial.
Because it's yes, a stout or a sour. Sour is a great beer to age. But what's really going to happen in 10 years? This guy tells you. Patrick Dawson Vintage Beer, they tell you what's going to happen. The rest of the book is so-so.
What's the last beer book you read that blew your mind?
American Sour Beers.
Yeah?
Mad Fermentationist, I forget the author's actual name, but he writes a Mad Fermentationist blog. I'm a sour beer junkie. I'm a sour home brewer. That book just changed what I want to do. I mean, you want to know how to make beatification, whatever, it's in there. The recipe, Russian River's process, it's there. La Follette, it's there. Allagash FV13 or Cool Ship Red, Cool Ship Cerise, it's there. It's in the book. It's covered. Oh, my God. I mean, American Sour Beer, I think, is, I'll say it's the Bible of sour beer for home brewers or beer nerds. I realize a lot of people aren't into sour beers yet, but if you're into sour beers, American Sour Beers is a must-read.
What are your 3 desert island sour beers?
Cantillon Rose de Gambrinus. Because I love that beer, plus I also love the label. Is this on video or just audio?
Video.
So you've got, where's the video camera? So you've got this dude, there's a chick sitting on dude's lap, and the dude's like this with a chick on his lap. It's a fantastic label. I don't know how I got TTB approval. But it's also a delicious beer. Yes, it's Cantillon. Yes, it's impossible to get. Next to that, I'm going to say Russian River Beatification. Because it's an American wild ale, true wild ale. I mean, they pull yeast out of there to make this beer. And it's a fantastic sour. Very acidic, nicely tart, very drinkable though. Next to that, I'm going to go with something like New Belgium La Follette. It's a sour, but it's very drinkable. It's not too acidic. You're not going to screw your face at it. And you could down a bottle in comfort. I can't down a bottle of roasted Gambrinus by myself. It's too aggressive. So those are my 3 desert island sour beers.
And then Cincinnati, what's going down in the beer scene in Cincinnati?
So much. I mean, truly, so much stuff is going on. Parabola's not a great thirst quencher, by the way. It's delicious, but no thirst quenching. There's so much going on in Cincinnati. Like, there's so much I want to say. I'm trying to compress this in my mind. Cincinnati has an insane beer history. Ken Grossman was here today. He had a slide of the craft breweries in 1981. Huda Pol was the biggest craft brewery in 1981. Shingling was the 4th biggest craft brewery in 1981. You know what they have in common? Cincinnati.
Wow.
Those are both Cincinnati breweries. Sam Adams' biggest production plant today is in Cincinnati. Angry Orchard. Angry Orchard is technically owned by Boston Beer Company. You look at a bottle of Angry Orchard, brewed and bottled in Cincinnati, Ohio. I think Cincinnati is underrepresented and underrated right now, and I think its time is coming. In maybe 5 or 6 years, I really think we're going to be on the beer scene like cities like Chicago and Asheville are right now. Mad Tree, I think, is doing the best stuff in Cincinnati. They're canning. They're one of the first breweries to know how to can. They're doing exciting and aggressive stuff with a fantastic IPA. Rhine has gotten a tremendous amount of national attention. Again, great West Coast IPA. Rivertown is 5 years old now. They're doing sours, Goose, a Lambic, and a Blackberry Lambic. And then we've got, 10 or 11 other breweries, all doing pretty good stuff that if they were more widely distributed, they'd get a lot more attention. So I have great hopes for the Cincinnati beer scene. And I have great hopes for Ohio because I really believe that Stone is coming to Columbus. I put this question to Mitch Steele earlier today when we were at Stone, and he would not answer, but his family's from Cincinnati. And David Walker told me earlier that Ken Grossman's second list, so Sierra Nevada is in Asheville now, Asheville, North Carolina. The second runner-up was Columbus, Ohio. Stone has already crossed Asheville off the list. Columbus, Ohio is still on it. That says a lot for Ohio and a lot for Cincinnati by being an hour and a half away. Cincinnati is an hour and a half from Columbus. That's a lot closer than San Diego is to L.A., right?
Is that a prediction, a conspiracy theory, or wishful thinking?
All of the above.
Yes.
All, especially wishful thinking.
Yes.
And praying and hoping and praying to every god there's ever been.
That's awesome. And you having a good time here at the conference?
Oh, fantastic. This is my second Beer Bloggers Conference. I went to Indy. I missed Boston. It's a great time. Great talking to people, great learning, and a tremendous amount of great drinking.
Yes.
As I have a cup of Parabola. And I had 120 in Cosmic Mother Funk, Grand Cru, and so many things.
That's awesome. Anything else you'd like to share with our audience of engaged folks that could not make it tonight?
Hooray. Go Bengals. Go Cincinnati.
Sorry to hear that. Dalton country?
Yeah,
Ready for the
Big
long
Red.
haul?
Big Red, man.
Big Red?
Big Red machine in more ways than one. We got the Reds and Andy Dalton. Exactly. But no, the last thing I gotta say is expect Cincinnati. In years to come, you're gonna say, really, this is from Cincinnati? And you're gonna look back at this and say, oh, he said that. He was right. That's it, I'm done. Can I drop the mic?
No, because you have your parting gift still. Every guest gets a mini shot of hop-infused vodka from Anchor Brewery and Distillery.
Hop-infused vodka?
Yeah, hop in.
Oh my god, my friend is gonna be amazed by this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's vodka. And if I wasn't drunk, I am now. Shay, if you're out there listening to this, people are stealing your idea, Shay. A good friend of mine, Shay, he's a home brewer. He does crazy things. He gets a lot of liquor, infuses them with all kinds of crazy things. Plums, pineapples, pomegranates. He makes a lot of mead. He dry hops all his mead. He's sweeped like 3 local competitions on just like Cascade dry hopped mead.
Really?
Yep.
Have you tried it?
Oh, God, I love them all. I've tried them all. He doesn't make anything normal. You're never going to get an IPA from the guy, but you're going to get an insanely citrus dry hopped mead.
Yes.
And he's making something he's working on right now that I'm so excited for. 5 gallons of lambic, 5 gallons of mead. He's going to make a sour braggot.
Whoa.
Yes, exactly. It could go really bad. He's done a lot of things that have gone really bad. But, man, when you're a genius and when you're breaking new ground, some things are going to go bad, some things are going to go good. And he's done a lot of good stuff, and I'm really hoping a local brewery or a local winery picks him up. He's volunteering in a number of places for what he does.
There it is.
And if you make meads, dry hop your meads.
Yes. That's a drop the mic. Here, I'll catch it. Boom. Dry hop mead.
It really, really is, dude.
Yes.
I mean, he's mostly done citrus and Cascade and Centennial, but his uncle works for the hop farmers in I'm too drunk to say it right now, Yakima Valley.
Yakima.
I can't say this on the thing. He got a specialty hop from Mexico hop, and he put it in mead. It was delicious.
Whoa, that was the craziest secret I've ever been told. We're sorry we couldn't share it with you, but it was a secret. And we are journalists of a high moral caliber. Yeah, no, just between us.
Yes, like family relations in hop farmers.
All right, we'll go drink more.
Yes.
Drink well.
Thank you very much.
Party on.
Yes. Party on, Wayne.
There we go. Booyah. We can't be stopped. Look at this. Look at this.
I finally get online.
Yes. Here you are, Daniel.
Pleasure to meet you.
I'm Alan.
Alan,
Welcome.
thank you for having us. Is that better?
That's better.
Do I have to hold it forward? Forward? We can get in?
There we are. Now we're brand building. There's your face.
101, be
Yeah.
in the frame.
Be in the
Actually be, when you're doing video,
Yes.
actually be on frame. I don't know
Yes.
if that's possible to change within a fourth wall or fifth wall of that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think you know more about this than I do.
I don't. I can just wax poetic about a lot of different subjects.
Where are you from?
I am originally, or where am I coming from right now?
Right now.
Right now, I'm in Los Angeles. We have an office in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
We're the fine lovers of Dot Beer behind me.
Oh,
yeah.
I was told I'd be talking to you, and then I should
Eventually.
look forward to it with great enthusiasm.
Well, we kind of work within the same realm of digital, so
Yeah.
we have something in common.
Okay, so
And
what's
glasses.
going on? What's going on with this?
With this,
Yeah.
so a TLD. TLDs are .coms for the easiest way to understand it. Over the next couple of years, there's going to be about 1,400 of these that come out. And the end of September, .beer comes out. So .beer will now be generally available to be your domain. You got Alan.beer. I got Dan.beer. You got Stone.beer. And what our point is that the way that this becomes authentic and trustworthy out there is to go to the people that are already part of that community. The beer industry, make sure that the brewers know what's coming up, make sure that the people that are talking about it from a blog perspective get these before there's any other land rush. Because unless those people get in and they form that really great bedrock of a community, it's not authentic. And when people start clicking on .beer, they're going to think, okay, what .virus did I just get? So we want to make sure that the people that are already part of an industry that's been growing leaps and bounds over the last number of years are at the ground level of something that is inherently going to change the way people search and discover things online.
Now, is that URL ending, which is, what was the acronym you used?
.beer. I mean, I'm just saying the period as a
Okay,
word.
I got you. So .beer, is that just for breweries, or is that for bloggers and media? And
The way that we look at it is the people that are going to benefit from it are going to be the breweries, they're going to be the bloggers, they're going to be the people that are already part of the beer community. It'll become generally available on September 25th. Anybody can go out and get your .beer address.
Yeah.
But is everybody going to need a .beer address? I would hope maybe. Hey, we'll do really well.
Yeah.
But no offense, we might have a lot of other medical problems that might come out of that, and I don't want to be liable down the road.
Yeah.
So what we think, though, is if you get to the communities, you can now form these new networks, one-to-one search of, I'm looking for something about beer. Oh, here's the beer domain. I understand that they're going to talk in a very authentic and trustworthy way about their subject. And I'm going to find the answer to what I was asking in the first place.
Yes.
So that's our hope. What we're here to do is just educate, make sure everybody knows it's coming out. If you need your .beer address, we met now. I might be able to hook you up. I know some people.
A guy that knows
I know a guy.
Yeah.
And on September 25th, we just want to make sure that all the people here in this room are ready and can be part of a different way that the people find and discover content online.
Okay, and you mentioned bloggers spreading the word earlier. For all the folks tuning in out there, what's the specific call to action to them?
I mean, the call to action is to go onto mindsandmachines.com, register for an account, so you're ready.
And A&D machines.
A&D. We can't do the plus sign in there just yet.
Okay. mindsandmachines.com.
You got it.
I'm awesome.
Because besides .beer, here comes .cooking, .horse, .rodeo, .country, .vodka, .surf. There's a number of the other ones. We have .London that launches on the 9th, .Byron, .NRW, and then all the way through the next number of years there's going to be launches of these. And all it's about is being very specific, being very identical, and being very memorable online. So get your domain, find your space online. It's your control. It's your domain. You can be the master of it. You don't have to play by anybody else's rules to be able to publish. We have some other interesting tech that will be coming out. We should talk in October.
Yeah.
So check out mindsandmachines.com, get your domain, and thank you for your time, Alan. I really honestly can't say more enough about the blog industry you guys are doing.
Heck, yes, I have
Oh,
a
I'm
party
sorry.
gift.
Was I ahead of myself?
No, this is all the guests get a sippy splash, Hophead vodka, a little palate cleanser.
Well, cheers to you.
Boom.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your thoughts.
And it's been a pleasure.
There we go. There we go. Woohoo! So yeah, we're rolling. We got a long queue of people. Oh, hi. Welcome back. Yes.
I work in Brewing magazine.
Yes.
And my cohort, Cheryl, she's coming. She got your chair.
Oh, it's on.
It's on.
It's on.
Okay.
I'm gonna get real close to you.
Do it. You guys are the star of this show. Okay. You guys have to share this mic.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to talk like this. No. That's way above my pay grade.
Oh, it's
I got
he
this
has
mic.
to hold it.
This
He
is
has
for
to
you
hold
guys.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Montana,
us.
huh?
Montana.
Yeah.
Yep. You talked to Alan already. He's
Montana's
from
in the
Montana.
house. Montana is represented.
Yes. Montana is the coolest state that you should stay away from. Don't come to Montana. We don't want you. We just want to live there.
I want to go super badly. Something inside of me is burning to go to Montana.
Yep. Well, we'll take you.
Although I just learned the whole speed limit thing is no longer a thing.
Yeah, we
They
used to
just-
have the $5. You know, you just
Yeah.
pay a random fee of $5 whenever they pull you over.
Yeah.
So when you went on a road trip, you just grabbed a pack of fives and away you went.
That was it.
But that's all over with because everybody grabbed a pack of fives and it was a joke.
It's like a strip club. It's a
Yeah.
highway.
Yeah,
That's
it
right.
was a strip club on
Well,
the highway.
you're a big spender if you spend fives at a strip
Yeah.
club. Yeah. That's
true.
true. That's true. Yeah.
True.
It is. And we got this whole open container law. And, yeah. It used to be like you'd measure your drives and the number of beers you could drink.
Okay.
It'd be like, you can get to Butte. It's a 6-pack drive.
Right.
Yeah.
And now things are more civilized.
Yeah, yeah.
They frown on that now.
I know. It's
They
kind
charge
of
you
crazy.
for it.
You're out.
But
You're out.
we have 45 breweries, to come visit.
That's
and
awesome.
Drink beer at.
And what's your guys' scene?
So yeah, Missoula, same as Alan.
Yeah.
I do Montana Beer Finder.
I'm gonna put that in here so
All right.
people know. www.montanabeerfinder.com.
Right.
Boom!
1 million likes already.
Why should people go there?
Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah.
We've got, we're adjacent to 2 different national parks, right? So we've got incredible scenery. But we have 45 craft breweries. So we've got, local breweries. We've got breweries that distribute regionally, nationally. So we've got good beer. Montana is #1 for barley production. All right, so the second most popular ingredient in beer, other than water, is barley, and we have
barley used source locally?
absolutely. So in Great Falls, we have Malt Europe. It is the second largest malting facility in the world,
No way.
the largest in North America. So yes, absolutely. When you talk about Montana and beer is a local product to us. Right? We grow the malt, we grow the barley, we malt it there. We have incredible water. We have glacial water that is high quality. So we have everything that you want in Montana beer right there. It's the definition of beer.
And I'm guessing that your website can help me find Montana.
Absolutely. Montana Beer Finder is where and what to drink in Montana. Yep.
So in terms of like retailers or bars or all the above.
All of the above, from bottle shops to breweries. We're going to show you where to find good
Do you
beer.
guys have content kind of supporting that?
Yep. We blog regularly, and we are a strong partner with Missoula Craft Beer Week, which Cheryl and Alan are a part of. So as far as like a week to celebrate Montana beer and Missoula beer, it's Missoula Craft Beer Week. And that's the end of March, or the end of April to the beginning of May. We have 1 week, 35 events in 7 days, all devoted to beer.
Don't mess with Montana. You
No.
guys have like a street gang. I don't want to run into the
Yeah.
Montana guys at
That's
night
right.
in dark
Yeah, it's not only just a community event, it's a state event. They come, our state is huge. It takes 11 hours to drive across our state.
Wow.
They drive that far to participate in Missoula Craft Beer Week. So those breweries in the little corner and drive to western Montana to participate. It's a big deal.
And how long have you guys been doing your site?
So Montana Beer Finder has been active for about 2.5 years. Growler Fields has been longer than that, probably about 4 years, right? Yeah.
I'd
5.
say 5, actually.
And then Missoula Craft Beer Week, you just had our 3rd year, and it's been just growing exponentially.
What's on the horizon for the Montana beer scene?
Oh, man. More breweries, that's for sure. We have 45 breweries that are open. We have at least 8 more that are be open in the next few months. And that's just in the foreseeable future.
Major players are expanding right now. Flathead Brewery is just building a huge new brewery in Big Fork, Montana, on the Flathead. They are probably one of the highest quality breweries I think that we have up against Blackfoot Brewery. But they are going to be a major player. I think that they will start competing in the state for number 2 with Big Sky Brewery. In the next year, we'll see them.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're bringing on a brewer that has experience with the sour beers with Deschutes. He was their cellar manager, and now he's brewing for Flathead Lake. We have Mike Howard, and for a little San Diego shout out, Mike Howard used to brew for Stone Brewing. And I was talking with the head brewer of Stone Brewing tonight, and he misses Mike Howard. But now he is in Missoula, Montana. He is opening his own brewery called Great Burn Brewing, and he's going to be brewing beer for Montanans. So we're happy to have him, and we're not going to let him come back.
Are you guys having a good time here at the conference?
Excellent time. It's been
Is
a
it
blast.
first time in San Diego?
Second time for me in San Diego. Well, third time actually.
I'm a San Diego virgin, but I happily gave myself to it. It's super fun, though. Oh, surprising. I knew I would have fun, and I knew I would have great beer, but I did not know that I would have both in such good quantities.
It has been an excellent time. So.
It's, for me, I came in thinking that I was ready to meet people that were like-minded, but just to be around the level of enthusiasm for craft beer has been amazing. And that's what I really enjoyed. It's just to be around people that are as excited as I am for good beer and conversation and networking, and yeah, it's what could be bad about good beer, right?
You are just full of one-liners. This is you just got all these little phrases, and I'm like, oh, you're on it. You're hitting it on the head. You're getting to the heart of the matter.
That's it. That's it. I have to be good at something. Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys coming over here.
Thank you.
All the guests tonight get a parting gift
Oh,
of a small sip
I've heard rumors.
of Hophead.
Oh my God.
Hophead.
Yes.
Vodka from Anchor Brewers and Distillers. in
All
San
right.
Francisco.
Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
Yeah. Awesome.
Smell.
Oh.
Did you smell it?
Oh my God.
That's incredible.
Oh.
It's like swallowing a hop.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Awesome. Oh. No. Yes. No. I would do it. Oh
Yeah,
man.
you should have it in a Bloody Mary.
Oh, I bet.
It's awesome.
Oh my God.
That is
I told you this morning. I'm opening this guy.
There you go. Well, enjoy yourselves, guys. I appreciate the thoughts. Likewise. There we go. Thank you. Cheers. Yeah, Alan. Hi, John.
Oh, I'm actually writing a piece for Beer Paper LA this next month, like Monday, about hops in things beyond beer.
Yes.
Evidently, you know something about that.
Yes.
Yeah, what's the story?
This is a hopped vodka, hopped-infused vodka made in Anchor Distilling Company. It's a proprietary process. It's the first of its kind. It's outstanding paired with a beer or...
What's the hop in it? Are you a brewer?
It is a secret. It's a proprietary process, and we get a lot of questions about that. It took a lot of experimentation to figure out exactly how to do it, but I'd be happy to connect you directly with the creator. Why don't you come over and talk? Okay. You're the grand finale. Perfect. You got a mic? I thought that said beer tomorrow.
Yeah.
I love that. That is a great name.
Thank you.
Hi, John. I'm Alan.
Alan, I'm John. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Yeah, so hops are awesome, right?
Hops are
Yeah, and like other stuff.
Yeah.
I hear hop gin I've heard of, right?
Yeah.
Does Anchor do a hop gin as well, or just the
No,
vodka?
just hop
So it's somebody else doing the gin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hop vodka. Proprietary process. We don't know what's in it or how they do it. Let's try some.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just a taste though, because
Oh, we're doing minis.
perfect.
Oh wow, that smells amazing.
Yeah.
Smells like Citra. I feel like I've had this once before at a bar, Blue Palms in Los Angeles. The the owner had just gotten some in. He was like, "Here, everybody, try some of this," and it was not this nice. So maybe it was I was not in the right mindset for it. But that's really
Your palate is spot on tonight.
It tastes like a bag of hops, in a good way though, like the way you want. Yeah. That's really nice.
I'm glad you dig it.
Yeah. So do you recommend like on the rocks, straight up cocktails?
I do, Bloody Mary. It's delicious.
Oh yeah.
Or I do like an IPA and one of these on the side, and I kind of do the old
little beer back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I've had a lemon drop with that. Would be killer. Yeah.
Let the citrus notes.
Maybe even a Greyhound with the grapefruit juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty versatile. I mean, it's essentially a gin without ginger.
Yeah. Which is the most objectionable part of gin, if you ask my wife, who hates juniper.
It's like Christmas trees.
Yeah. We did a gin blending at a distillery in Los Olivos, Paso Robles area, and it was like, oh, you have to have 51% juniper. And I was like, oh, but we don't. I like juniper. I love juniper, so I would go 100% juniper. It's fine by me. But yeah, it's interesting. Try to get that balance. This is great that it's just hops.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
And what about you? What's your scene? Beer of Tomorrow. I'm gonna put the link in here.
Yeah, Beer of Tomorrow is my blog. I also am an editor on Beer Paper LA, which is a monthly print paper that covers beer in Los Angeles. And I write about beer for the LA Times and freelance for whoever will pay me for beer stuff.
Good for you.
Well, yeah, it's a good gig to get, I can't complain.
And beyond hop-driven things that aren't beer necessarily, what else has your inspiration and attention right now?
I can't get off coffee beer. LA does coffee beer better than anybody else right now. People are going to be mad at me for saying that, but Los Angeles may have a very young craft beer scene, but we're a very old coffee town. The town runs on coffee, right? And we know our coffee beers, and Groundwork Coffee Porter by Smog City Brewery is one of the best coffee beers. Full 6% cup of coffee and a beer all in one glass. It's awesome. But apart from that, we do a lot of weird stuff. Eagle Rock Brewery in LA does a Belgian golden ale with Intelligentsia coffee, so you don't really often think of an amber or golden with coffee in it. It works really well. Light roast coffee, all that fruit, that citrus, that acidity works really well. So yeah, coffee beers, can't get enough of them. I love that. And I really like to see brew pubs coming up more. Production breweries are great, and getting that distribution out there is an important thing, but I really like the small neighborhood joints, especially in Los Angeles, which is such a neighborhood-driven city. We're so huge. If you can get away with not leaving your neighborhood for a weekend, that's what we like to do. And so I like to see small spots that everybody can walk to, get a beer, locally brewed, locally made, that actually plays to the palate of that region a little bit better. Like they talk about seasonal creep is like the big thing, right? Like, why are pumpkin beer? It's October. It's August. I don't want to drink a pumpkin beer yet. Why are they on the shelf? Yeah. But if you're drinking local beer, they can play their seasonal beers a little bit better to the local climate, the local tastes. So.
Not brew pub, but beer bar in Hollywood, right next to the theater.
Blue Palms.
Yeah.
That's the one I had the hot vodka at. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. It's one of the best bars in LA. Yeah. Yeah, they just had their 6th anniversary a couple weekends ago. It was a hell of a party. And I live 6 blocks from there, so it's a good spot to be in because I can stumble home if need be. It is, yeah. It's a good place to be, and they get good beer. And, the thing about Blue Palms is it's a great beer bar. They get a great tap list. They've got an incredible bottle list, but then their food is really, really good, and people don't give them the credit that they deserve for their food. It's the best. Food's delicious. Yeah, the best gastropub foodie area spot in LA. One of them up there.
I haven't been there in years, 4
Yeah,
years.
we come back. Come give me a call. We'll go. We'll get some beers.
And they got the Time Man of the Year mirror. In the
Yes,
bathroom,
yes.
And I love that every time I go.
Little Lebowski's. Yep.
Little Lebowski, yeah.
Yeah, the sketchiest bathroom in Hollywood, but it all works out.
And then if people go to your blog, what should they expect?
You know, I try to split the line between really LA-centric, what's happening in the scene in LA, because it's so much right now. It's blowing up. It's a great place to be if you're getting into craft beer. So I do a lot of, like, here's what to be excited about in LA, and a lot of basic beer knowledge, just to kind of raise up the general level of beer knowledge. I'm a certified Cicerone. I'm very passionate about, you know, enjoying beer mindfully and paying attention to what you're doing, beer pairings, proper glassware, all that nerdy shit, important stuff. Makes beer taste even better. So yeah, you know, I try to split the line between being really locally focused and being kind of a broad beer knowledge depot. Yeah.
Anything else you want
Beer's magical, man, and you know, human civilization wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for beer. We would still be hunting and gathering, right?
Yes.
Yeah, language, written language, because of beer.
There it is.
Right? So, yeah.
Better than that. Appreciate your thoughts.
Thanks, Alan.
And I'll find you in a couple minutes. There we go. Appreciate it, John. Woo. Did you want to hop in here?
I heard that you may want someone from WordPress to people to interview and give a little FaceTime on the radio.
Heck yeah. Hop on in here.
Let's do it.
Brandon Kraft.
Yep.
I'm Alan.
Howdy, Brandon.
Hell of a beard.
Pleasure to meet you.
You got the double glasses.
I
You're ready
do.
For battle.
I am.
Yeah.
I support the people who support us, and they have glasses to give, so I thus wear them.
So are you a beer guy?
I do. I love
Do
beer.
you consider yourself a beer guy?
I do, yeah.
Are you a beer enthusiast?
I love beer. I love craft beer. I love beers that are unique and different. I like things that are not mass-produced, but things that are produced by people who love the craft. I consider a good beer, whether or not it's to my liking, if it's someone put their heart and soul into it and it was a art to them, then that's something I want to experience. And even if it's not my cup of tea, you have to respect and honor that kind of artistic sense of it and roll with it like that. And so for me, the beer experience is much like, you know, how art enthusiasts go to a museum and stare at a painting for hours. Even if they don't understand it, like they try the sense of the brush strokes and figure out what's going on with it. For me, beer is the same thing. Even if I think it's a bad beer, it doesn't matter because for them, they had some of their soul into this. Yeah. And so when you drink it, try to figure out what were they trying to do with it and go from there. So I don't really, technically, I may not have any idea what's going on with it, but I like to try to experience it for that kind of artistic sense, the craft of the craft beer, if you will.
And WordPress certainly has an effect and influence on the culture.
Absolutely.
I own and run a national magazine, and our blog is WordPress.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Very much there.
Sure.
What have you observed in terms of beer culture and WordPress and blogging in general's influence on its evolution?
Sure. Well, I think with WordPress in general, we're open source software, so anyone can take the software, look at the code, change it, hire someone else. You don't have to go through us to get it. And with that, the whole idea of it is that you can bring your ideas and your principles and your experience into it and make it what you want. And with beer, it's all the same way. When we hear all these different brewers talk about what has influenced them and brought them to where they are today, it's all about where they came from, and it's not that they had to like go to a certain recipe of beer and they have to follow this recipe. And I feel like that same kind of sense of exploration and experimentation is what WordPress is to the blogging world and to the website world, that craft beer is the beer world, where we believe that you should own your own content, and so you should have the power involved with whatever you write, that you shouldn't have to go through the man to get it out to anyone, and likewise with craft beer, trying to bring that sense of experimentation, that difference, and that you don't have to follow the German purity laws if you don't want to. You can do those things, and so I think with WordPress, we're trying to democratize the web, and so if you have a great idea about beer and you have a unique homebrew recipe or you have a unique twist on your beer experience, we help you bring that to the world as easily as we can without making you learn HTML and CSS and PHP and Node and JS and all that stuff. You don't need to know that, but we want to help you get your words to the world. And with beer, I feel like most of the brewers and home brewers I've met here and before, they're not necessarily looking for a lot of glory or fame, but they just want someone to appreciate their craft. And so I feel like that's kind of our bread and butter, is helping people bring their craft to the world and do what they want to with it.
Awesome. And then final word for you
Sure.
of the entire. You get last word of everybody.
Okay.
Two-parter. If you could answer the first part and then we'll move on to the second part.
Okay.
First part, you got to give a shout out to my webmaster Jeff Dorenbush.
Okay, Jeff. Yeah. Jeff, you do a great job. I'm very glad you use WordPress. If you have any questions, have any concerns, by all means contact me. But the fact that you're already using WordPress to help bring a great influencer of beer and a great mind of beer to the world is fantastic. So keep doing the good work.
Very eloquently stated. And then secondly, I'm assuming that a lot of our audience tonight does use WordPress.
Sure.
Give a message for all those guys who are already on the platform,
Yeah.
looking ahead to the future.
I think the WordPress ecosystem is very healthy. We're not a service that we made a product and now we're just maintaining it. WordPress is very active. We're always trying to find out the best ways to help you own your own content and bring it to the broader world. And so I think if you're already on the WordPress platform, you're in a great place because there's a lot of dedicated people who truly care about publishing and content and democratizing the internet. And so if you are with us already, you're going to have great things to come. Version 4.0 comes out later this month. It's going to have some great features. 4.1 is going to come in December. We're already planning some great features for that. And so we are a active, caring community of developers who want content creators to have the best experience possible. And so we're with you with it, and this is all that we do. This is our bread and butter and what we care about and love. And so you made a good choice, and we will take care of you now and into the future.
There it is. Last word. And all the guests tonight got a special bonus sip, hopped vodka, to cap it off.
Very nice.
An amazing night. Well stated. Glad you could have the last word. Hello, world. We are signing off. You want to follow up? Here's a couple Twitter handles somewhere. I lost them. There they are. They're backwards. I thought ahead. I wrote them backwards. They're not backwards anymore because we're that good. We're on top of it. I call this a win. My confidence is soaring. My karma is through the roof. And this is a win.
I think it's a win, too. Thank you for the time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Cindy, anything from you? Win.
All right.
Goodbye, world. Stop broadcast. Stop broadcast.